Welcome to the Voices of the LeanFeast.
Hey, welcome to the podcast. We're back, and we got El Hef here. I'm here. Law Dog, we got you here.
Yep, I'm here.
Luke,
What up, what up?
got you here, and Benny's around here somewhere. But we also have Miss Kayle Browning. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Do you have a nickname?
I probably do, but I don't know it.
What? I don't think we've made a nickname for you.
I go by Shooter.
Shooter McGavin?
Sure.
Hey. All right, so welcome to the podcast, the Voices of LeanFeast. You are in town. You're rarely ever in town. You're some kind of crazy jet setter. I mean, what?
Gold status.
How long have you been in town?
This time I've been in town for 5 days.
That's it.
That's it.
And then when are you guys leaving?
The 29th.
And
after
where are you going?
Ohio for duck hunt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So if you haven't followed the LeanFeast journey out here in Conway since we've been out here, we've we've partnered with Kayle Browning to help us with some stuff over at LeanFeast. She's a dear friend of ours. We love to go shoot at her land and kind of just embrace the cultures of the Southern spirit, if that makes sense. I'm obviously from California, so I never experienced anything like that before. And then when I met you, you were just open arms, right? So you said, come to my house, and oh, my hands are tapping, huh? Okay. Come to my house, hang out, let me show you what we do. So my first question to you would be, what do you do?
What do I do?
Besides everything.
That's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question. You're a multi-tool.
What do I do?
I don't even think we know what you do.
I'm not even sure I know what I do.
Fair enough.
But my main title, I guess, would be I do competitive shooting for a living. I'm on the Team USA for International Bunker Trap. I started out in sporting clays, which is more hunted simulated game, and I travel the world shooting guns.
Wow.
That is what I do. It's for,
Amen.
for a job.
America.
Amen. So
Trump 2020.
that's it. So
So much for that podcast.
I'm not against other people's beliefs. I do not talk about political things. I'm going to keep that to myself. All hail your beliefs. So how did you get into shooting? What was your main inspiration? Like, what were you 2 years old? Were you 15 years old?
My inspiration was my dad. He did it competitively, and I started when I was 8 years old, competitive shooting. But he made it fun for me, so he would always drag me around to shoots. And when we were home, he would take water bottles and let me shoot a BB gun at them so they would explode. And he just made it fun. I thought it doesn't take much to entertain me. That was like the coolest thing ever. So he always kept it fun, and then I just took it to a different level. I mean, the Olympics was always the goal and still is the goal. So it's what.
When you obviously finished high school. Did you go to college?
I did.
Okay. Did you graduate college?
I have an associate's degree.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you did you did your schooling, and then in between that, you decided that competitive shooting was probably something you were good at.
Yeah.
I mean,
so the original plan was to go to nursing school, do something in the medical field, but that was at the time that the 2012 Olympics were, so I kind of went that route and put school on hold, finished with associate's degree, and continued the shooting route, and it has paid off because you go to college for a career. I've made a career out of it.
So when did you realize that you were a badass at what you do? I mean, let's just cut to the chase.
I don't want to answer that. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had kind of a similar question. Like, at what point did you realize, like, man, I think I might have something?
You got the goods.
Like,
Got the goods.
I might be able to really do this.
Or was it other people around you that noticed?
I kind of have been oblivious to that my entire life, because I always tried to make it fun. Whenever you're doing something fun and you like doing it, you're more relaxed and you're better at it. So there was never, by my family, there was never any pressure to make a team or to perform or anything like that. So when I was 15 and I made my first World Cup team and I got to travel overseas, I was like, this is something I really want to pursue. And rather than knowing if I was good or not, I just worked really hard at trying to get my goals. And at the time, my goals were make a team, travel the world, see how far I can go with it. And it's led me really far.
You made your first World Cup at 15 years old.
I did.
How? That seems, to the untrained eye, seems like extremely uncommon. Is it? Is that pretty young?
That's pretty young. But in hindsight, I had been shooting for a long time. I started when I was 8.
Mm-hmm.
So 15 to me wasn't young. Maybe to somebody else that would, you'd think, oh my gosh. And my dad freaked out. Like, he was like, I'm not sending my 15-year-old daughter off to another country to shoot by herself. But that's what she did. I went with the team. I was by myself pretty much. My parents didn't go. I was on my own in Germany. And
So what was the next higher age? Like, where were you in compared to the rest of the team? Were they all in their 20s, 30s?
No, that trip, I was mainly with the Army, so they were mid 40s. I was 15 with all of them.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that at 15, you're finally declared a badass,
I guess so.
right?
When you say you're with the Army, like, were they shooting with you, or you?
So the Army has their own team, the Army Marksmanship Unit, and they have their own training facility, but they had made Team USA, and Team USA is who takes us overseas. So I wasn't traveling with the Army as the Army unit.
Right.
I was with Team USA,
Okay.
but some of the Army had made the team that year.
So how many? I'm gonna fast forward here, but how many World Cup titles do you own? Do you currently possess?
Ooh,
You should know this.
I don't know this.
What if I was to tell you that I know it?
Well, then I would say, tell me.
I don't, but a lot.
Yeah, I have a couple World Cup medals. I have 2 Pan American medals. I was the alternate for 2012 for the Olympic team. Previously, last year, I won the first quota spot for the Olympics, got gold at the CAT Games. And then currently right now, I'm in the lead going into the second trials for the Olympics.
So when you say you were an alternate for the Olympics, does that kind of mean like you were the understudy? Like if the person that was in the first place, got hurt or backed out for whatever reason, then you would step up and take
so
that position.
at the time, women were only allowed 1 slot. It was just the rules. Men were allowed 2, women were allowed 1. The girl that actually went, she got first and beat me by, I think, 2 targets in the final. I mean, it was really close, and then I was the alternate for that.
Is that still the case? Is it still only two slots for men, 1 for?
No, so this is last year was the first year that it changed in 2016. So now we have 2 spots for women too.
Nice.
So
Good.
2 spots for women, 2 spots for men.
Yeah, and the way that works is 2 years before the Olympics, at the World Cups, they'll give out quota slots. And what a lot of people don't know, to go to the Olympics, your country has to earn a quota slot. So that's why we go to these World Cups and compete. If you win, gold or silver, you get your country's quota slot there.
So just because you're the USA doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be that you're going to represent the country in those Olympics. You got to earn your way in. And there's always a chance that USA may not get.
Yeah,
that
and
spot,
the last 2 Olympics, our men haven't gotten any quotas. This is the first Olympics since 2008 that our men have gotten quotas.
And you yourself single-handedly secured one of the quotas
I did.
this year.
What'd you shoot? What was it? 150 out of 150 or 149 out of 150?
No, that was at the World Cup. So Brian Burrows and I were shooting the mixed team event, and we shot 149 out of 150, which is the current world record.
Woo!
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
So you currently you currently are in first place this year to go to the Olympics.
Yes, but we have a whole nother trial in February. So they'll take the one from September and the one in February and combine them, and the top 2 ladies go.
So it's safe to say that if you get gold in February, you're going to the Olympics.
Yes.
You know who else is going to the Olympics if you go to the Olympics?
LeanFeast.
We are.
That's right.
Dang.
We've been patiently waiting for that call.
Y'all have
We really have.
Our bags have been packed since last year.
longer than that,
Absolutely.
since last Olympics.
So you have your next. So it's another World Cup.
No, so it'll be our trials.
Yeah.
Our trials will be in Tucson, Arizona, and it's It's the USA match, USA shooting match. It's not a World Cup.
So you have to win that to guarantee your spot.
I have to be first or second because we have 2 slots to go.
Well, if you're not first, you're last.
This is true.
Ricky Bobby.
Hey, man. Copyrighted. Trademark. Ricky Bobby and Ricky Bobby Associates.
You've been waiting all day to say that, haven't you?
And it's a great movie.
It is a good movie. Okay, so first or second, and if you secure both of those, then you will have an alternate as well, right?
Yes, there'll be an alternate.
So there'll be you and another female.
First and second will go. Third place will be alternate.
Have you been training?
If you count duck hunting recently training, then yes.
Okay.
If you count shooting clay targets recently, no.
Okay. So at your,
Our season goes from February to November, so I try to take, the end of November, December off, and then start back training in January because we have such a long season. If you don't take off, you get burnt out pretty quick.
Yeah. Where do you train?
I train here in Arkansas at a facility we built.
Okay, and that's on your property, right?
Mm-hmm. I can literally walk out my door 30 steps and go
And
train.
if people were to look at our YouTube at LeanFeast on YouTube, you will see that very training facility on a couple videos that we've shot with you. Wow, that's exciting. I wish I was that good at something. Dead silence. I mean,
I was trying to think of something that you were good at, but
I know.
Well, I was
That's
thinking
what I'm saying.
Olympic meal prepping.
If meal
what I was
prepping was in the Olympics, you'd be gold every year.
I wouldn't be. Yeah, exactly.
Olympic weapons purchasing.
That's
You
true.
might be up there on that.
I might be up there on weapons purchasing.
Yeah,
Last year was a big year for me.
I could be the alternate for sure. I could secure that
I
quota.
think between you and I, thanks to Kayle, I think we bought something like 50-something guns.
Yeah,
last
y'all
year.
Yeah.
y'all have made me wish that I was a gun dealer, like a broker. I wish I had a store.
Our personal gun dealer
Yeah.
is he's very happy with our performance.
Oh yeah, I think we took first and second in purchases from his business last year.
That's incredible. I like being number one.
Should we do a shout out?
We should do a shout out.
100%.
Shoot him out.
Yeah, shout out to Kev Dog Richardson from Gunzoom, #1 arms
dealer.
distributor in Central Arkansas. Credible guy, credible prices.
Yeah, if you guys need any, well, obviously, if you're listening to this and you're in California, you can feel the pain of not having a firearm. That's pretty unfortunate. But if you lived out here and you live next to Kayle, you can go shoot on our land all the time.
You can buy a firearm and come out and shoot it.
You mean in America?
What do you mean?
With the rest of the country where you can buy guns?
That's true. That's true. New York's probably pretty tough. They don't even have guns in Hawaii.
No. They just
So-
use like insects to get you there.
They'd like throw beetles at you.
Yeah.
You know, if you asked
Coconuts.
Eric's son, where he lives, there's California and then there's America.
That's it.
That is.
Remember
right.
when he said that?
He did say that.
He's like, I'm from when we used to live in America.
Yeah.
Where are you from, America? Where'd you
America.
used to live? California.
He's 9. History's not his strongest subject.
Yeah, Caden. What was it?
Let's talk about your son.
Lebanon or whatever?
Lebanon?
Oh yeah. My Caden just recently got a C on his civics test.
Oh. Who's his teacher?
His teacher is my wife. That's pretty bad.
Well, we're working on things.
So we'll forever set this.
Hey, at least she's not showing
Situation in
special
stone.
treatment.
That's it.
She's fair.
Oh, definitely
She's
not.
fair.
100%
And she's
fair.
told him several times, I'm more than happy to help you, but you got to seek it out. You can lead a horse to water.
You can't tell them where Lebanon is.
Lebanon.
Lebanon.
Back to the topic. Kayle, what is as you take this next few months off, you're going to go duck hunting today. You went this morning. You're actually headed to Max Prairie.
Yeah, Max Prairie Rings down in Stuttgart.
So-
They're one of my sponsors, so going down there.
So who else are your sponsors? Are you allowed to?
Yeah, so Federal Ammunition is a Team USA sponsor, and they provide all of our ammo. And even during hunting season, like shooting their duck loads, or if it's deer season, shoot their deer loads. I have Max Prairie Wings. I have ESP, which is hearing protection. LeanFeast,
That's it. Who else?
The best sponsor.
the best sponsor, because they feed me.
That's it.
Without that fuel, you can't even lift that gun.
This is true.
Are you allowed to say what gun you shoot?
Yeah, shoot Craig off.
And where are they from?
They are originally from Germany, but they have a base here in Pennsylvania.
Oh, they do?
They're my gun sponsor. The best. They're my longest sponsor. I've been with them since I was 14.
But you've been shooting the same gun all along,
For
right?
forever. Yeah.
Is that kind of one of the things that you just do if you find one that you like? There's not really any reason to change.
Yeah, exactly. And that gun, I can't tell you how many rounds I put through that gun. I mean, it's hundreds of thousands of rounds.
It's
through
literally
that
the
gun.
same-
It's literally like
Same gun?
Yeah.
Like you haven't like got that same gun
In,
but a different model, or
in 2009, I got a different receiver whenever I won the Pan American Games or won a medal at the Pan American Games, and that's the only thing that's been changed. And then last year I switched to 32-inch barrels. Previously, I
So
shot
there's
30-inch
no
barrels,
no rules or regulations that say you have to do some sort of a refreshing to the barrel or machining or
I
anything
get it
like
serviced every year for an annual, but as far as as long as it's still shooting, I just keep
But
rolling with
they
it.
inspect it, right? Like
Yeah,
you've got to
every
show
year.
that you don't have any tricky stuff hidden in there. Or, I don't know what you'd hide in there, but
Um,
is there anything you can hide in a gun that would give you the edge?
I don't know.
I kind of
no.
don't think so. I wouldn't think so, but
Still gotta
No,
aim
I
it.
mean,
I'm not
there's-
the pro.
Still gotta
there's-
aim it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
still got to aim it.
you can. There's shell restriction, like ammo load restriction, but as far as the gun goes, you can have weights in there. You can have whatever length barrels you want. Doesn't matter.
Like a TK and Mike barrel.
Sure.
Like as long as it's room.
Why-
You just point at it.
Kaylee, why might somebody want to weight a gun? What does that help?
Okay, for
The
example,
balance-
so like
balance in your
yeah,
hand?
for the balance. So like for you and me, we have different lengths of pull. So my gun might be a little bit shorter, yours might be a little bit longer. So to balance that gun out, you want to have the weight even for whatever person you're fitting that gun to.
So you're going to weight the barrel or you're going to weight the stock?
Whatever it needs. Just depends.
Okay, so you can
yeah,
put it on either
you can
side.
put it on either side. If you have trouble with recoil, you typically put the weight in the stock to kind of help it.
Like the bump
Yeah.
bump pads, bump stock. No, not a bump stock.
Not a bump stock.
No, not that. Don't say that. There's Californians listening. Bump stocks are
Don't look at me. I'm not a Californian anymore.
bad.
He's an American now.
I'm an American now.
Oh, yeah. Californian, and then there's
Got his
American.
citizenship.
So I mean, without getting into your personal life, I mean, I know that everybody's had ups and downs. You've had ups and downs, but what is your daily motivation? I mean, because you don't have, and don't take this the wrong way, but because you don't have a 9 to 5, right? I mean, everybody thinks. I mean, we don't have a 9 to 5, really, but we kind of treat it like a 9 to 5. So when you get up in the morning and you have your coffee, like, what is your motivation? What do you strive for?
You know,
Besides being a badass in the
Yeah.
shooting world, right?
sometimes it is really hard. I would say it's almost easier if I had to go somewhere and travel, but it being right outside my door, a lot of people would say, oh my gosh, that's so easy to wake up and just go out and shoot. But really, you have to, you have days that you're like, I really don't want to go out there and shoot 4 cases of ammo today. Like,
Yeah.
I'm tired. I don't want to. But really what keeps you going is when you look outside and you can walk outside because you have a facility there, you think, I built this whole thing because of winning and because of sponsors and because of the teams I've made. And that kind of helps you keep going. But really the end goal, whether that be an Olympic medal or you just set a personal goal for yourself, like saying, I want to be named the best in the world, you have to find it within you to keep going, because every day you don't wake up and say, you know what, today I'm going to be a badass. I'm going to walk out there. It's 90% of the days you have to force yourself to go out there.
But somebody's
do it.
always trying to get better.
Yeah, there's
right?
always the one thing, if I'm really having a hard day, the one thing I think about is, my competitor out there could be out there training right now and I'm not, and get up and go out there.
So you kind of have to be your own boss.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's saying, "Hey, you're late for work.
Yeah. I treat
Get
it like
out and do it."
I treat it like a 9 to 5. I set a training schedule for myself and I have to hold myself accountable for
So
that.
somebody from Team USA doesn't call you and say, "Hey, how many cases
Get
have
up,
you shot today?"
get up and go train? No, they don't.
Yeah. So I guess if you want to win, you've got to actually be your own boss.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward to February. If you're first or second in February, you end up securing your spot for the Olympics. Hypothetically speaking, let's say you get gold. Knock on wood. right? So hypothetically speaking, if you were to place gold, is that it for you?
You know, I've thought about that a lot. Part of me during training's like, that's what I've always strived for. That's what I've worked for. I want to get to Olympics. I want to win a medal. I want to be named an Olympian. But knowing how competitive I am, that's just going to light the fire more, I think. So if that were to happen and were to get a medal, I think it would just keep going.
Probably,
yeah.
Probably unleash like a whole
I mean,
different side of.
I may not even be a badass yet. I don't know.
We think you're a badass.
It may unleash a whole nother level something.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah.
If you get that gold, can I bite it?
Yeah,
Can I bite the medal?
for sure.
Ooh,
Is it an actual gold medal? Made of gold?
I think it is.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure.
I think there's
It's
a certain
British?
amount.
They used to be solid gold. Now they're plated gold, I believe,
Okay.
or a certain percentage.
Are
of
World
always.
Cups the same, or they're just
No.
plated?
Yeah.
Or just like sprayed?
They're, I think most of them are
Sprayed
just sprayed.
Plastic dip.
Yeah,
Plastic dip.
they're Cerakoted.
There you go.
That's
Man, I need to get some guns Cerakoted. By the way, I just went down. I was on 65 and I saw a Cerakoter.
In Greenbrier?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's a new shop.
we're gonna need to go there.
Yeah.
It's like Toys R Us.
If anybody doesn't know what Cerakoting is, it's a high temp paint, I guess you would
Is
say.
it like powder coating for guns?
Coating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
powder coating for guns.
But it's for high temperature. Powder
Yeah.
coating is for, you want to powder coat
Your Yeti cup.
your Yeti cup. Yeah, there you go. And then Cerakote is, because I remember when I had a Harley, I Cerakoted my pipes. So it's high temp. A little education for those that didn't know. Well, I'm very proud of you. I know we don't see you much anymore. You have a new person by your side now, it seems. I remember when go ahead, Baker. What did she tell you when she came into the store? Maybe the last
Oh,
time
gosh.
I saw her.
Oh gosh.
We're just friends.
We're just friends.
The picture is still up in the back.
I know.
We still have the picture.
I
It's
know.
forever be
We're
immortalized
just
in the prep area of LeanFeast, Conway, Arkansas.
We did. We lit into you pretty hard.
Well, to my defense, we have been friends for over 15 years.
we were waiting on you to get back. So,
Yeah.
But
you
it was
stood
just
no
friends.
chance.
When you drop that just, then things change.
It is. Yep.
David's in the corner just laughing. Well,
For those of you who don't know who we're talking about,
I didn't know if you wanted to bring him
Yeah,
up, but
no,
let's
bring him on in.
share that mic.
Can you say his last name?
Luke
for
is
us? Because
infatuated by his
I'm
last name.
totally infatuated. It's just a cool looking last name.
It is.
Okay, how do you
up,
say
guys?
it?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Hi.
My last name is Radulovic.
Oh,
Radulovic.
see? Isn't that a cool last name?
Sounds like he owns, like,
How
a
many
car
letters?
company.
That's like the villain from Rocky. Like just total badass last name.
You guys
I
are
it
the
just sounds like that. Yeah, the Russian.
Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Dang.
cooler than that.
How many letters is that?
I think 10.
He hasn't had it for long.
I always
It
think
is
like
10.
Yeah.
I always
Okay.
I've only had to write it a few times throughout my life. I should probably know that.
but like on a jersey, I always got fascinated when like last names would have to be like
Curve.
upside down U, like a U-turn, just
Oh,
to
yeah.
fit. Like that's almost
So,
Sometimes.
They just call him Dula.
Dula?
Dula.
But you guys were talking about nicknames earlier. Normally, my nickname is just my last name. So that's, I guess, when you know you have a cool name. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I like that. Actually, a lot of people just call me by my last name.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly
it-
because there's so many Erics associated with LeanFeast. I think
Oh my God, there's like
dozens.
9 of them in my phone.
So we kind of had to, by default, had to switch to people's last names for the Erics.
So go ahead, Kayle. So who is David? What is he to you? You guys said that you've been friends for 15 years. I didn't want to just randomly bust him out into your personal life,
But here we are.
But actually,
Man.
it's pretty much. I mean, I've known you for what, 2 years?
Longer than that.
Longer
yeah,
than that.
Longer than that.
It's the only guy that you've brought around that I've actually given 2 shits about.
I know. I
So-
know, and that's
Thank
hard.
you.
That's hard to do. He's hard to impress. If you pass the LeanFeast test crew,
We're not an easy.
Wow.
We're
Yeah.
not an easy crew to pass.
No.
I
No,
mean,
you
we're
guys
pretty
are cool,
judgmental though.
It was kind of funny because
In a good
the
way.
first
Yeah,
day you brought him
absolutely.
around, there was a guy sitting. I think it was Chris. Chris was sitting in the lobby of LeanFeast, and you were the only girl in LeanFeast, and you brought him in, and Chris looks around. He's like, "Oh my gosh, this is like This is like a swarm of great
This
white
poor
sharks
guy.
around a seal. We're about to attack this guy.
Hey, I mean, if he can't handle it,
No, I like you guys. You're cool. I like the company you've built, and what's cool is that when you walk into not to, I guess, shamelessly promote the brand, but when you walk into a LeanFeast, it's like just a bunch of buddies hanging out,
Yeah.
and that comes across throughout the whole thing, and you can see the passion in it, and that's why, I mean, I've only been around you guys for a few months, but I mean, like every time I come, there's something new and bigger and cooler, so that's cool, it's exciting.
I like that you say that, because Baker, on episode 1, he really touched on the fact of why he likes to be a part of what we are.
Yeah.
And he really touched on the fact that it's more like a family.
it is. It's like a family. You've got a cool concept,
So
and it's
cool.
like just.
So tell us a little bit about you. Like, how did you guys meet? So you've known him for 15 years. You're
Yeah.
obviously a shooter as well.
Yeah.
Pretty successful yourself. I've read and I've watched and I've talked to Kayle, and tell us a little bit about. I don't know how much time you guys have, but
We get whatever.
just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've known Kayle. She said earlier she started shooting sporting clays and then went into the Olympic sports. And so I shoot sporting clays and feed task. Never got into the Olympic sports. But I've known her and her dad since I pretty much first started.
Yeah, so like 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so at all the tournaments back in the day, when all the adults were done shooting, they'd have like banquets and stuff, and all the kids would hang out and get into trouble and
Steal
golf carts and
Shoot stuff you're not supposed to shoot.
shoot
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how I knew her, and we just for some reason just stayed really close. I mean, for a long time, and been through a lot together, and it's cool to see her realizing her Olympic dream. That's really exciting right now. But yeah, so I shoot sporting clays as my job, and
Are you sponsored as well?
yeah, got a couple. I shoot a different gun. It's called a Parazzi.
We're getting the thumbs
Yeah,
down
there's
from your missus.
That's the only argument we
Boo.
have is guns. But
Well, if you didn't have something to argue about,
You
the
gotta have
relationship
something.
would be so super stagnant, right?
It's
Right.
actually really funny because previously, I mean, we've both had different relationships, dated other people, and we've stayed really close friends. And we used to always joke, like, when that relationship would end or something, we're like, man, we're never going to find anybody that understands shooting. Totally oblivious to, like...
Well, I want to, and I think something that we noticed in a past relationship of yours, Kayle, we felt as a team, watching you and watching you grow as a person, I think we all came to the collective thoughts of Kayle was not very focused.
Yeah.
Kayle was not very focused. She let a lot of things slip between her fingers, and you might agree on that. I even
sure.
talked to your dad about it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
for
dude,
sure.
what is up with your daughter, man? Like,
Yeah.
it just wasn't. I'm not going to say it was a dark time of yours. It was.
It was.
But it was just a shitty time.
Yeah, it was a hard time, and definitely there was a passion that got put on the back burner because of personal things going on, and that makes it really hard to stay focused on what you've been working for your whole life, especially when somebody wants you to give that up.
Yeah, and my point to that was we kind of just see a new light, so to speak, or kind of a refresh. Even though we gave you a bunch of hell about having a new guy that you're talking to, but you really, to me, you're like a sister. I mean, I don't see you a lot. I think you've opened up to us as people, and we've opened up to you. But I saw a new light kind of spark. The whole cliche, right? You're glowing kind of deal, right? But I think what some people might not understand if they knew you before and they knew you after is that the man sitting next to you really put the focus back in your system.
It makes it really easy to be focused on my passion when somebody supports it
Yeah.
and understands it.
I think that's a good reminder for, obviously people that are listening, our listeners, to know that it's okay to go through rough, dark, ugly times, because you kind of need those to, and I think Eric and I can, definitely speak to that. I mean, we all can to an extent, but you need those just to help you refocus and
And
appreciate
actually,
and move forward.
and realize what you're doing, how much you care for what you're doing, and how passionate you are about something.
The same thing happened to me before her and I got together. I was business-wise, relationship-wise, it was hard. And thank you for saying that. But it's
I didn't want to like you. I'm just saying.
I understand that.
He didn't.
I didn't, but I actually really like you.
Yeah, we tried really hard not to like you.
Well,
I think we may have even tried to make
Baker's
you cry
like, I
at one
still don't.
point.
Right.
But
Baker's like, I'm about to kick your ass right now.
Go outside.
No.
Take you to the
But
yard.
and to your point, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I didn't, just because I saw what all the BS she went through, and I mean, who am I to her, right? I'm her friend of a couple years, but that's to
You're like
me.
an older brother. I mean,
I am
protective.
like an older brother.
Yeah.
Very. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but I didn't want to like you, and I do now. So
Thank you. But no, when you are whether you're building a business, trying to make an Olympic team, trying to be a professional athlete, I think for me, at least what I've found, and I've seen in her too, and it helps me to see it in her. But like the passion that you have to have for it, and in the purest form, you have to enjoy the fun of it, and the grind is hard, and it has to be fun. And so when you're with somebody that shares the same passion, whether like I see in you guys, which is cool that you come in and it's like, can you really say this is a job? It's hard work, but it's fun.
yeah.
And then but you realize what you put in comes out more than that. And so the same thing happened to me. As soon as you have someone that you can lean on when it gets hard in athletics and business or whatever, then it starts to get fun and easy, and you start to do. I've never shot better in my life than I have this year.
And that's what I was saying earlier, like when you were asking how you push yourself through it. If you truly love what you're doing, of course you have hard days and you have days that you don't want to get up and go to work or get up and go training. But if you truly love what you're doing, and like how I truly love shooting, and I'm shooting because I love to blow things up, and I love, it's not for the success, but success comes with that if you're truly passionate about it. And I think that's the number one question I get asked, like how do you get so successful? How do you do that? How much do you train? How do you do that? And I think the answer to that question is you have to truly be passionate about what you're doing. You can't set a goal for yourself unless you're passionate about it. Like if I wanted to make the Olympic team, that can't be my only drive for it, because I'm going to get burnt out, because that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It's a cool position to put yourself in, where if you think about it, someone trying to make an Olympic team spends 4 years for one moment, and they can either fail or they can succeed. And if they're doing it because of an external reason,
that moment,
if they're doing it because they won a trophy or a gold medal, then it's a lot harder for that moment to go positively. Where if that moment really doesn't matter, where they actually enjoy what they're doing for the love of the game, then all of a sudden, the result isn't the important part. Right. And that's where you get people that are unbelievably good at things, and it's because they really love it.
I think we can relate.
Yeah,
like when
I
we
know.
First
I can
started
see that.
LeanFeast,
Yeah.
Like we couldn't just put in crazy time kind of on a smaller scale. We couldn't just do what we did to get to where we are without having some kind of passion and love for it.
You didn't just say, let's start a business, what can we do? It happened naturally.
It was never like, let's go make a lot of money. It's let's go change the world.
Yeah.
And I think and that's awesome. I feel like I think everybody sitting at this table can feel that, and I'm hoping that the listeners can feel that as well, because your same style of thought process really goes hand in hand with our customers and our clients and our franchisees. So obviously we're not just a food place. We touched on that a few episodes back, but we're not just a food place. We're, as Luke would call it, what did you say it was? An experience.
Yeah, for
Total
sure.
We really
package experience.
Just for everything that we provide, and I think you guys are a dynamic duo, and you guys bring a lot to the table.
Thank you.
What you have a podcast as well? Do you want to throw that out there?
Yeah, we do. It's a shooting podcast. It's called Behind the Break, The other guy that I do it with, I was basically the on the road interviewer, and the other guy that runs it, I think decided to take it subscription based. So it's hard to find out there, but I hopefully, crossing my fingers, we're getting away from that again. So
I think they are,
which
Yeah,
I'm
I think they
excited
have.
about.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then you guys, I might be overstepping my boundaries here, but did you guys form the media, or is it still you, Kayle?
So the Gunsmoke Media?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Gunsmoke
Promote
Media, okay. The Gunsmoke Media is still me, but we actually are doing a business together. It's called Cypress Creek Lodge that we're fixing to
Is
build.
that at your house?
Yeah, we're fixing to build it.
Okay.
And basically, it's we've got the shooting facility out there. We're building a lodge to accommodate students that come out, and also people for the media company that have that do business with me. They can come out for corporate events or a shooting event or hunting event or whatever, and all meals included, hunting's included if it's in season, or they can come out.
Have you guys broke ground on that?
Share with us yet? Yeah, we have.
You did?
It's exciting.
That's cool.
I'm gonna go out there.
You
I'm
didn't
not
get the
gonna tell
invite?
you.
We're hopefully.
Did you get an invite?
Oh yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I had the shovel.
Luke was there.
Yeah.
Laid the foundation.
He
I did.
started
You
with
know
the first
damn
shovel on the
well
ground.
we're gonna have problems if that's the case.
No, we've got the land and we've got everything ready to go, and we're shooting to have it open. Get that pun? Shooting.
I got it.
Shooting to have it open in the springtime.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Who's gonna design your kitchen?
Not me.
I
I'm all hands off.
do you know anybody in the
I-
food industry that could help?
Baker, maybe Baker.
Baker.
Probably send an
I don't
email.
really know anybody
I
in the
might-
industry.
You don't know anybody in the food industry?
Design kitchens. I
don't
think
know.
someone flew out to Kansas a couple weeks ago to do that, but I don't know who that guy was.
I don't know. Anyways, well,
Nobody-
maybe we can help you.
Nothing
figure somebody out.
food related comes to mind.
Let's check our contacts.
Well, that's,
Maybe I can send you an email.
heck yeah, heck yeah. I mean, that's freaking awesome. I think it was really good to see you today. Luke surprised me with a text message saying, "Hey, Kaylee's in town. She's gonna come by," and I was
Yeah.
like, "What?"
Yeah. Super
So
excited.
wanted to swoop you up on that podcast. So Gunsmoke Media,
Behind the break.
Behind the Break.
Yeah.
Kayle, David, anything else that you want to throw bones at here?
I mean, we both. If you're looking for shooting lessons, we're your people.
Okay.
You can contact either one of us. You probably won't be able to spell his last name, but it's D. Radulovich Coaching.
Just contact Kayle.
Yeah, just contact me, KayleeBrowning.com.
Just Google badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll be right above Chuck Norris.
If you can teach some of those that we brought out there to shoot. Then
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, y'all-
Money's worth it, huh?
yeah.
Because some of them were lost.
But
My mom wasn't lost.
I mean,
she won $100 bucks.
$500.
Yeah. So tell that story, Eric. He had.
Did you really
his-
give her the $500?
Yes.
Eric brought his
and
mother.
she took it.
Yeah, I don't blame her. You had her
Mom.
challenged.
That's
So
that.
she shot. I told her. Did you see that video?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were out for a what do we call it?
Team building
A
event.
team building
Yeah,
event
team
out at
building
your
event.
at your place.
Yeah.
Right.
And there was maybe 15 of us.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was a party.
Yeah.
And
Slinging lead everywhere.
Yeah.
freedom seeds.
Tanner,
Freedom seeds.
In America.
We're
in
planting.
America, yeah.
Yeah. There's-
And I bet my mom, she's never shot.
She's shot it maybe once.
In her
It's-
whole life?
Yeah, she's never shot again.
Yeah.
We had a 410 for her, I think it was.
been
Was it full
associated
shot,
with
full
law
shot,
enforcement
Yeah.
for however long.
I mean, she's
She's
shot
been around guns
She
all
shot
the
a
time.
gun, but she's never shot a clay.
You didn't think it
Yeah.
was going to be one pull.
I didn't think it was gonna
Yeah,
be one
so
pull.
She did.
Eric challenges his mom that she can't hit a clay target. So I said, I'll help you hit this clay target. And he said, I'll bet $500 she doesn't hit it on the first
with
time.
a 410.
I said, challenge accepted.
With a 410.
That's impressive.
If anybody
Break
doesn't know
barrel,
what, can you
410?
explain what a 410 is?
Yeah, I mean, we compete with a 12 gauge, which is about, I don't know, maybe 5-10 times
Yeah,
more
Yeah.
pellets than a 410 is extremely hard.
tiny, tiny.
Yeah,
load.
compared to a 410, 12 gauge is cheating, right?
Yeah, yes, pretty much.
Yeah, so she was already handicapped in the first place.
100%
That's-
and then you
impressive.
throw a 410 in her hands.
That was crazy.
And then you put the pressure of $500 on
Yeah,
the
then
line.
the pressure of $500. And how was that result, Eric? What ended up happening there?
She took my $500.
She smoked it. She called
you can
pulls.
see it on
First
YouTube.
shot.
First shot, hammered it.
There was no recognizable clay left. It was
No.
just
Dusted.
powder.
You can
I
see
mean-
it. You can
And
see it
then
on
and then
YouTube.
just opened up the gun and walked away like that. She'd
Like-
done it all her
like,
life.
what's up?
Yeah. Like,
Easy
what's up? Where's my
500.
500?
She just handed it off. So it's like she had a gun caddy. She just handed the gun off. It's like
To me.
I'm too
Look
big
at
to
Eric
carry
first
this.
day on the range, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, I was impressed.
Dude, if she would have
Easy
dabbed, that
money.
would have been pretty funny.
If
Straight
what?
up Betty
If
Badass.
she would have dabbed.
She would have just hit a dab real quick.
She would have broke the gun open and dabbed
Dabbed
with the
the same
gun.
time.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. I remember that. Wow. Good times. Good times out on the. What do you call your place? Kaylee's house?
Okay, Corral.
The Browning Resort. I don't know. Soon to be Cypress Creek Lodge.
Bed Bath and Browning.
Bed
So
Bath
are you
and
still gonna? So on your property, you're gonna have the Cypress Creek Lodge, okay? And you have your home, your residence.
Yeah.
And then you have your range, and then what? 150 feet.
Chicken
And-
pen.
You have a chicken pen with
pen, for
dinosaurs.
sure.
Yeah.
Chicken pen.
With
Yeah.
dinosaurs. Don't
Yeah.
forget the dinosaurs.
Necessity.
Sasquatch.
And then right next to that, you have the bunker,
Yes.
and that's where we shoot because we're not good enough to shoot on the Olympic.
No,
one.
the bunker is the Olympic one. You shoot on the 5 stand
Five.
Five
stand.
stand.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
by the chicken coop.
What's the one? The Chingadeer? What's that one called?
The Shondell.
What did you call
The chicken deer.
Chingadeer?
Chicken
That
deer?
one was hard.
The chicken deer.
The Shondell.
Chicken deers are hard.
I hit it once though.
Yeah.
Finally.
Cool.
Finally. Hit it one time.
One time.
Only once.
You know the one that like they were shooting like way over there, almost hit the ground.
Oh, the Batu.
That one.
The Batu.
The one above the pond.
It starts. It's a
Yeah.
really, really thin target. It starts out flat, and you can't see it, and then it kind of curls up and shows its belly face, and then it goes back to flat. It's really hard
But
target.
she told me how to hit it. She did. She helped me.
I mean, you're a. I think
He's not
you're
a bad
natural.
shot.
Yeah. I mean, you're an all around.
I grew up in Arkansas. I didn't grow up competing, but I grew up shooting shotguns at living things, but not clays.
Could it have anything
Turtles,
to do? Could it have
blackbirds.
anything to do with the fact that you're just so vascular?
That's it. Zane's vascularity.
Is that
You,
where
you
you?
know, I feel bad for Zane because you bring him up in every podcast.
If we have 100, I'm gonna bash him 100.
That's the Zane is the epitome of vascular, isn't he?
the staple. Yeah, he's the.
Yeah.
Here's the bar of vascularity, and Zane rose it.
That's
He
it.
rose above.
That's it.
I love it.
It is what it is.
Yeah, that's kind of the theme of LeanFeast. Rise.
Rise.
Just rise.
Just got to rise above the rest.
Just,
Number one.
No, just Zane. Just rise.
Just
to
rise
Zane.
above
Rise.
That's the motto. Just reach that
the
level.
standard.
Man.
That's awesome. Well, was very, very glad to see you both. As you are you guys here for the holidays? Or are you
Yeah.
and so you live in Ohio?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Soon
we're
to
actually
be at
work-
Cypress Creek.
We're
Yeah,
at
he's-
really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's moving down.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
boy.
Just don't get tattoos of each other's names.
No. No.
I won't like you if you do that.
Never.
That's bad luck.
That's really bad luck.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I got tattoo of
You guys could get tattoos of each other's guns on
That's what I was
yourselves.
saying.
Oh
That's
my
what I was
gosh,
gonna
that would be
say.
the
Your guns.
worst punishment ever.
like right on your hip.
Do a competition. Losers got to tattoo the name of
There
the
you
gun.
go.
on 'em.
No, that would be horrible.
That
I
I
would-
would
you lose your sponsorship?
We probably both would.
probably. We'd have to switch sponsorships.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You guys
Trade
Yeah,
guns.
trade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so you're here for the holidays.
Yeah.
So
we'll be
you
here.
currently live in Ohio?
I really live out of my truck and hotel rooms. Really.
Really?
Luxurious.
Yeah, it's real nice. A
Not
good
really.
change of scenery
it a
about
Chevy?
every 3 days.
Okay.
Dodge.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
sleeping rough.
Hold on. You drive a Dodge?
Yeah.
Well, you're not much of a shit. You drive a Lexus.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
You need to get like a big truck,
I do. I agree.
like a big Chevy.
If LeanFeast wanted to sponsor that, I would drive it.
You hear that, Law Dog?
I do.
Now, Law Force One, that's a force to be reckoned with.
It
That
is.
that big black beast out there,
I
Yeah.
know.
that's Law Force One.
Okay.
So whenever you see it on the road, you just know that
No,
the Law Dog.
the law is here.
Just
That's
pull to the
it.
side.
We'll
law
get
is
to
it.
your car, but right now we're buying
working.
black sedans so they can ride in front and behind me.
Gotcha.
With LeanFeast flags on
And
the
the
front
flags
corners.
cost money
Yeah.
too. So
Kind
you're
of like,
fine.
when the president comes in.
Like I'm
Correct.
coming to America.
Baker's coming.
That's
Law
it.
Force One's coming.
It's
Law
not
Force.
big. It's Law Dog.
No.
Law
at
dog.
10 years
point.
from now.
It's an
only
8 point,
these
no
guys
7.
will know my name.
Okay.
It'll be Law Dog everywhere else.
But tell them why, if they haven't listened to previous episodes, tell them why you're called the Law Dog. What do you
Yeah.
carry with you?
a thermometer laser, so I could check all the temps of the food. Just look at labels on the other side. Most people have quarter
You have a
dispensers.
permit for that.
I have a label dispenser. Sharpies. My badge is made out of stickers. So
Like a dentist, like a
So
sticker.
he's
for
the
the
Lean
dentist.
Feast law.
He's a
that's
lean
it.
feast law.
I'm here to, I'm
Law
here
of Lean
It's
Feast.
the
to-
leanest.
I have to keep them in check too.
And tell
8
all of our
Do you-
listeners
do
how
you-
you achieved the 8 point, because you do carry an
It
8
was
point.
one. It was one word.
Simply one word. I mean, it sums it all up.
Excellence.
Excellence.
That's it.
Wow.
But really, it's just 1 point at a time. But
Oh.
So do you write tickets?
they're right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Some
there's
days-
plenty of
Some
write-ups.
days it's hard. You don't want to get out and do what you love.
Yeah.
The ticket's
But
gotta
the
be
tickets
wrote.
got to be wrote. Somebody's got to write those tickets.
Somebody's got to write them.
Kaylee makes Olympic quotas, and
Wait a minute,
Baker
I
Baker
believe-
writes tickets. That's his quota.
I believe Kayle got a write up
She did.
from the Law Dog.
You did. What did you
I
get
think
wrote up for?
I don't remember. Did I?
Oh yeah.
I think you
Oh,
did.
Shouldn't
Everybody
stock
that's
something
been in
or
the shop.
something?
No, it's something to do with social media.
Actually, I want to say it
No.
had to do with David.
Oh,
Was it? Ooh.
it was David. Maybe it was. I probably have it on file. I'll look.
We need to look
I
because
keep
if
my write.
Do I have a file made?
I have write
absolutely you have a file made.
If you've been wrote up, you have a file. So yeah, you have a file. You're in the system.
No.
You were in
That
the
hanging
system.
file folder's blowing up at the seams.
It is.
Seriously.
Man.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being on the Voices of Lean Feast podcast.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to see more of you guys. I definitely want to go check out the Cedar Creek Lodge,
Yeah. Cypress Creek.
Cypress Creek. See, I knew
Wrong
I said
tree.
it wrong.
Well, write him up, Baker.
I'm telling you, someone's got to write him up.
You just watch your mouth. I pay your paycheck.
We have to abide
write
by
you
the
up.
law.
You're like Judge Dredd.
Judge Judy.
Judge Judy.
She's actually really nice.
She shows
love
no
her.
mercy.
She shows no mercy.
She's a
but
boss.
She is a boss.
You should look up a real picture of Judge Judy.
Really.
She.
She
You've
don't look
looked
like.
up a picture of her, like real life.
Why are you looking at pictures of
That's
Judge Judy?
fascinating.
Too
That's
bad, dude.
kind of.
Is she as shredded as you?
You're giving me the side eye right now.
I'll get off this podcast.
Yeah, we need to get going. But Cypress
Cypress Creek Lodge.
Creek Lodge, look out for it. I know that we want to be one of your first attendees.
Yes.
As we bring the executive crew out and hang out. And
There will be christening that happens. there.
Hopefully, y'all can
We're
help me with
breaking-
a kitchen design.
Breaking bottles over
I think
kitchen
we can
counters
cover
and
that.
stuff.
I got a hook
We
up.
can.
So good stuff. Well, thanks for being on the podcast, guys, and it was good to see you. If we don't talk to you before the holidays, happy holidays. Be safe. Continue training. Luke, you're anything from you?
Nope, I'm good to go.
Benny?
Congrats to your guys' current success, and we look forward to seeing future success from the both of you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, and you guys too.
Law Dog?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. Good day.
We'll see you at the 2020s.
We're excited for that.
Election and Olympics.
Who? What do you say?
Election and Olympics.
Oh, there you go. Have a good day, guys. Thanks for the podcast.
Love you.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Feast Fighter podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at LeanFeast, Instagram at Lean_Feast, Facebook and Twitter at The Lean Feast. Find more voices of Lean Feast on iOS, Google Play, iTunes, and Spotify.